Well, they've all
That's your new
passed on.
screensaver.
Yeah, I
All
had
right.
to change it for us.
Good evening and welcome to the podcast of Bob and Danielle, live from California. I'm in California. Danielle's in Georgia.
Hmm.
And so we've come together because we have something in common. And I think all of you in this room have something in common. It's called CPS, the Child Protection System. Now, I use the system instead of, like in California, it's called Child Protection Service because, as Danielle says, it's another name. So when I say CPS, I mean all the acronyms out there that deal with protecting our children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification, which I think they've forgotten about.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm glad you're here, Danelle. Missed you this morning. This morning was so-so. Didn't have anybody. It was really
Oh
lonely this
wow.
morning. But
Oh,
I did go through my spiel, cover the three rules, talked about some topics that we have here and so forth. But
do you have the Lori Hillard, like the one in the comments every day here lately, or has it been on there today?
no,
Or
she wasn't there. She wasn't there.
huh? Okay, so that is someone that watches live. Then okay, that's cool to know. So it
And
does
she's
get out
not
on
here
Facebook.
now. She's not here now either.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
welcome to our room. We're here to help you. The purpose of us is to help you with what we experience with CPS and get your children back. We care about you as individuals. We are good people, warm hearted, and have some great ideas, and we try to solve your problem. We're not attorneys, but we will tell you about an attorney and some rules that will help you in CPS. We also have many topics to talk about. We've been researching topics all the time. Things like ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, the
Mhm.
388 motion, which changes things in your case, the ICPC, the transfer between states of young children, and in Danielle's case, her son got lost and he turned over 18, and now she's trying to get him back. And I guess he's slowly but surely coming back. Um,
Slowly.
so we have lots of things.
Slowly.
There's the institution welfare codes of each state you should look up. Knowledge is the key to your success. With
Yes.
knowledge, you'll get your children back. With knowledge, you need to. And
Knowledge is power.
yeah, knowledge is power. I like that good saying. Okay, that sounds good. Um,
Mhm.
now, um, what is our strategy tonight? I think
Um.
we need to explain about what we do. Our interacting room here is that we take text messages and phone calls, and if you want to schedule a time to be a guest on this podcast, we'll tell you how to do that. We also have three rules: how to get an attorney, how to do your paperwork, and how to say no to social workers. Those are really important
Mhm.
rules. You've probably heard me say it many, many times. You've listened to us. But every room, every time I have new people. Now, the text, all you need to do is type in your question about something about CPS, whether you want to comment about CPS or is a question about your case or anything, you can just text it in. All I ask is you put the city, state, and country. Yes, I said right, country, because countries do watch this podcast. And as Danielle found the other
Mhm.
night, there was a person from United Kingdom, I think,
United
right?
Kingdom. Mhm. Yep.
Right. So we've had Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana, which is in South America, north of Brazil, south of Venezuela, and then we've had Mexico, and then
Denmark.
we've had Mozambique and Denmark, Mozambique and Denmark, and so we've had several calls from each of those countries. So they're welcome to come in here and ask their questions. Apparently, the
Mhm.
same thing's going on in their country is going on in our country. And
Mhm.
so I've talked to
Great.
pretty much over 500 people. And we've talked to every state in the union. So the other day we had somebody interested. Was it Illinois? I think it was. We had Illinois and I've had St. Louis,
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts, a lot from
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts. So,
Kentucky,
yep, Kentucky, yeah.
They just made it to where the caseworkers can go across state lines and do.
That was right. That was news yesterday. I heard some news today about CPS. What did I hear? Something that they were doing wrong or something.
On the news?
Yeah,
on
the news, there's something about CPS. I don't know if it was another case that's gone bad or what, but
there's a
anyway,
yeah,
you can text in. Just go ahead and text in. Now, if you want to make a phone call, call 626-698-0990. And you can make that phone call and you reach my phone number and I'll put you on the air. I have a speaker and it will do that. So my phone is on, ready to take your call. Now, if you want to schedule a time to be a guest on the show, just email my producer, which is Grace. She's off on Sunday, but she's here Monday through Saturday. And she can be emailed at grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. When you email her, just say, I want to be on the Friday show, or I want to be on the Wednesday show. I want to be the morning show or the afternoon. I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day. And I'm pretty good. I've not missed one yet. I have floated the time a little bit. I know this weekend, this morning, I'm on at 8 o'clock instead of 10. And then on Saturday, I was on at noon instead of at 10. So there may be some times of time, but normally I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the evening. And that's for 1 hour Pacific Standard Time. So it's pretty regular. I know you found us through Facebook, Fighting CPS, and we're broadcasting YouTube using the StreamYard application. And no matter how many times I talk about my case or Danielle talks about her case, it's never too old. I know that you listen to some of my podcasts and we hear the same thing, but what helps change it or what helps makes it go better is you guys calling in and or texting in of something you want answered, something you want to fix. We're not professional attorneys, but we have been in the system and we know it's corrupt. We know there's problems with it. We know what you're going through. We feel for you. And so far, I've only had a social worker from Maryland call in, and that was about 2 weeks ago. It was nice, but I'd love to have any other social workers call in and explain what the difference is in your area, because it seems like CPS is nothing more than a place to make money. It's a $55 billion business, and they make about $20,000 per child per month. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And so they're in it for the money. They're not helping your family. They don't like families. They don't like reunification. They don't like you if you're an elder person. They don't like you if you're a senior person. They don't like you. If you're an adult, they don't like you. If you're a parent. So they're in it for themselves. There's no way of controlling them. And there's no supervision, no board of directors. They don't have to have license. They don't have to have a college degree. It's free will. It's like terrible.
There's nobody holding them accountable.
Why don't you take it from there for a moment? I'll excuse myself. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. And so if anybody's out there that wants to come join us, come on in. Bob stepped away for a moment. What about, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Let's keep detailed information whenever you talk to these people. If you do, I would recommend not to. But if you're dealing with multi-jurisdictions, keep a detailed notebook, like Bob says, every day in the podcast. It's good to do that. It's voluntary. Anything with CPS, DFCS, DCF is voluntary. You do not have to do it. If you don't feel comfortable talking to them, don't. And I do want to say that if you look up your local state or local county, there are places that do offer free services as far as like parenting classes, support, resources. Just look up the internet, like Bob says, is your friend. Look up certain things. I've noticed that on the childwelfare.gov site, I believe, is the name of it. It's a very resourceful and can give you more insight on what kinship is, and it breaks things down. And there's like flow charts on there that tell you about like each court proceeding, like if it's a dependency, let's see what else, not delinquent, deprived, like a deprivation, whatever the case may be. There's flow charts that explain and it'll break it down for you. And I've learned a lot from that site. I have. There's other people out there that just want you to know you're not alone. You're not alone at all. We're here for support. We're here to help you as much as we can. We'll even research for you. I mean, and you know, like there's also Vincent W. Davis that you can call in and speak to. He's offering a 30-minute consultation for $60. You go to the link down where it says consultation at the bottom of the screen, the bottom of the podcast, consultation with attorney, and you schedule a date with him and a time. He's a very knowledgeable man, very knowledgeable. I have watched a lot of his podcasts, and he has helped me out through a lot of my situation. And don't let these people run over you. Don't do that. I know it's hard. I know it's tough, and I know sometimes you just want to give up. Don't do that. You know, I have there've been times that during my whole proceeding that I've wanted to, and I just can't. I also have a disabled brother that I have in my care that is 37, and you know, he misses his nephew, you know, which is my son, and you know, it's both of them are, my son's an adult right now. So, you know, it's the same for adults and children. They're disabled, you know. Special needs is a big thing with CPS. They love like bothering people with low income, poverty families, troubled families that maybe, like for instance, I have a past, I have a record. Yes, I do. No reason for me to be judged for it the rest of my life. I've did my time, and I'm in compliance with everything. So I don't understand why CPS can make things into like it's a criminal way. If the child I don't understand it, and especially with going by hearsay. There's so many open ends with family courts and CPS and juvenile courts that it's nothing like criminal, but they try to make it that way. Like if I'm on, you don't have to tell them anything. You do not. If you don't feel comfortable saying that you want to, you get some representation, reach out to someone, tell them no, but in a nice manner, you know, keep it professional, keep it civil, you know. You don't want to give them no kind of ammo towards you at all. And also don't let them in your home. Don't. They will use anything. If you have animals, they will use the worst thing possible against you. And they will falsify so much and create a big mess for no reason when you could be the cleanest person in the world. I mean, it don't matter. They're going to make themselves look good at the end of the day. And I also recommend that if you have show up for the babies, show up, fight for them kids. Cause there's so much of this going on in the world that from my experience, I've never had to deal with CPS. Well, in Georgia here, it's DCFS. I've never had to deal with them. My family, you know, I got in some trouble in my family. I asked my family for help, and my mom and my nanny, and they stepped up and they took care of my children. They provided them with a safe home, and we had it like that for 12, 13, 14 years, and that's since 2011. My mother, not accidentally, she unexpectedly passed away, and it was out of nowhere. And my son was a minor at the time. He was 17. And, you know, it's sad that family members can take a child and do some greedy, selfish things, like, and just, I don't understand how a child can be thrown to a system and done the way that child deserves a chance, just like any other person. I saw a TikTok the other day that said, why do different, like they were talking about race. Why did they adopt certain color? I mean, it don't matter as long as that child, that family's given that child a chance that the parents or someone couldn't do. So, I mean, this whole CPS and adoption and foster care, I've never, ever in my life ever knew anything like about it. I knew what adoption was. I knew what DFACS was, and that's what we call it in Georgia. DFCS. I knew like the services and programs like that you can get, like SNAP and TANF and that stuff. But I mean, I even pay child support on my kid because I have 2 girls as well. And like my son has not seen his siblings in over a year, and it's sad that a family member could start this mess for no reason and not even talk to him or nothing. It's like, so these people don't realize what this child goes through, what happens with this child. They knew nothing about my son, nothing whatsoever. And my son is the kindest, coolest kid, or excuse me, adult you'd ever meet, because he's not a kid anymore. But he is chill, like, and they made him out to be like a monster. My family member did, and he's not. He was made out to be something he's not. And I've seen other kids, like my son got sent to Texas, so I'm dealing with 4 states away, and my son's over there by himself at this place for what? Like, they told me there's no placement in Georgia when I'm right here. And then I've been on the news because if you watch the news story that I was involved in with Atlanta News First, they are sending, like in Georgia, they send our kids out of state for care, and then they bring, and it's all about money. They get more money for kids that are from out of state. But when the family's here, how is that reunifying a family? Like, the bond between me and my son is undeniable. It's there. It's always going to be there, and it's always been there. Whether or not I've talked to him through a phone, in person, been around him, which I have been, even 4 states away, the bond is still there. Like, I mean, he has his days. He's 18 now, and he gets, but the bond between a child and a parent is everlasting. It's always going to be there. No person on this earth can break that, no matter what. I don't care. Like, if they tell you that that child is always going to have their parents in their heart. And we face, like, I face missed out on some years with my girls, which don't give up. Don't give up, because that child one day, trust me, they will be thinking about you. And I believe that the more that the child is away from the parents, the more the child wants to see and know and get to know the parents. So remember, there's going to be a day that child's going to come and be looking and wanting and be there. Don't give up. Fight for them. I will fight for any child, anybody's kid. My neighbors, my next door neighbors, the person in front of me, the person behind me, anybody, Bob, anybody. I mean, and I'm here for anyone. There's some people that I'm very involved in the community and social media, with Facebook groups, with everything, with this podcast. So we're here to fight and push back. Let's push back. I mean, we gotta stand. We can't give up. And that's what I've seen a lot of parents and individuals and family members do, that once they start applying pressure, it's like they just give up and let them win. No, that's not. Trust me, you have the power. And like I said, knowledge is power. It's very, very powerful. And you, as that person, as that child's parent, is very powerful. You have more say than what you see, because we don't know that. We are parents, and it's not like we come with an instruction manual, and neither does raising a child. It's no reason to be punished if the child, say if you are low income and the food you're low in food, or but these places are this system is supposed to help support services with that. Like they're supposed to provide you with and to get back up on your feet, to get you where you need to be, not put you in a harder situation. And that's what they failed to do. They get a complaint. Say if they get a complaint, they're supposed to look into it. And I believe they should go in with an open mind and an open heart, which a lot of them don't. They think they know the child right off the rip, and then they automatically jump to the gun and do what they want to do. And I mean, like it's crazy. I mean, they're supposed to support families, provide prevention services to families that need assistance in protecting and caring for their children to prevent the entry into foster care. So that's what they're supposed to do. And in my case, they failed to do that tremendously. They automatically went into foster care. So that's not keeping a child safe. What did I do, Bob? What did I do?
You did fine. You did fine. Sorry I left you for a few minutes there. It's so nice to have a co-host because
you're good.
I can trouble problems. We both, have families and homes to take care of it. It's so hard sometimes because we try to do the podcast at the right time.
Yeah. And this is about the time that there's it's probably dinner time about where you're at, because over here it's in Georgia.
It's definitely dinner time. It's after 7 p.m. But the thing is that I wonder where our people been. I don't know. It's Sunday. Usually I have a lot of good listeners on there.
Yeah. I know the internet, like some internet providers have been acting up on the East Coast.
Well, the weather's been bad. I feel sorry for the people in Texas. That's what I heard. There was a 5-month-old child that drowned.
In Texas?
Oh, yeah, wow. And the floods.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I heard.
Wow. I know that I asked where my son's at if they got, they said it hit like the College Station and it hit bad up there, and they got some of the weather. And I mean, but kind of find out it got tore up pretty bad. And I mean, that's why, like, that was my thing. I was like, what are they doing with the kids out there? Because I mean, there's in the unit my son's in alone, there's like 12, 14 individuals there. So, and I mean, I trust that the people that work there, I mean, some of them are good, and you got others that, but I do know my son is in good hands at times. You can tell a difference when in his attitude on the screen, like when I see him on, you can tell a big difference when he's on there and when he's agitated and when he's not, and when certain people are there. So, and it's sad that people would just do that as a job just to bother and intimidate kids. I mean, that's messed up, especially nonverbal. And yeah, I mean, if you don't have a passion to do something, don't do it. Don't even involve yourself. Don't even bother. Like, find something else. That's what I say. I mean, it's pathetic, like what people think that they can get themselves into. And I don't even know if these people that work with my son have to have any type of training or degrees. I'm sure I know they don't have to be licensed. Like the ones that are around him, like not counselors, but
well, what if they have to be clinical psychiatrists? Do they have to be clinical psychiatrists?
I know they do have like a psychiatrist and stuff there, but like the people
that requires a college degree. That requires a college degree. Yes, it does. The girl that was a social worker said that she was a clinical psychiatrist. She got her college degree. She was practicing in Maryland, and that's where she said the state of Maryland does an extra 6 months of training of all those social workers.
Really? Mm-hmm. And then you got over here in Georgia, like I know the caseworker, they got the caseworker and then the social worker, and they're not even licensed as the caseworker. They're supposed to refer, like they can't even.
Well, I think the caseworker and the social worker is the same thing.
Yeah, well, some of them aren't even licensed. That they're going.
But neither one has a caseworker or a social worker does not have a license. There's no license required to work in CPS.
But if you're going to like refer them or whatever, or make like service.
If you're going to evaluate them or write prescriptions, you have to be a clinical psychiatrist. You do need a college degree and you do have a
That's what
license.
they can't even like refer you.
And a
Like they
lot of
can't even
CPS have them. A lot of CPS have them, but they're far and few. And the people that
right.
aren't think they can go ahead and prescribe
And
or tell the parents that they're messed up or something.
right. And like, so let me ask you this: is that including like referrals? Like, if she's not licensed, can they refer you? Can they like put a referral in for drug tests or anything if they're not licensed? I thought they had to be licensed for that.
Well, no, a social worker can ask you to give us a drug test. She wants you to use their system. Why? Maybe they
Okay.
get a kickback on the expense. Also, they have control over it. They can dock it or change it. When you do your own drug test through your own doctor, you're more prone or more assured that that is a legitimate test.
Right.
And that's
Right.
what you want to do. That's what you
But
want to do. You do not want
okay.
to have CPS give you a drug test or come to their office to do a drug test or all that.
Right.
And in
Okay.
fact,
That's
I
what I
don't
did.
think they care whether people are clinical or not. Or, I mean, right now, CPS, all they want is money.
Yep.
And they will lie to you. They'll say, "Oh, you're doing great. You'll have your kids back soon." As soon as you finish everything, they say, "Oh, we forgot. There's something else we have to have you do." And they'll put you on
That's
the back
exactly what they're
burner
doing
again.
with
They'll
my
put you on
son.
the back burner and start all over again.
That's exactly what's going on with my son. Now they want this and that from my aunt. My aunt's like, no. She's like, we're just gonna take it to court ourselves and take. I
Well,
mean,
in your case, I think you do have to have a judge
yeah.
look at it.
Well, the
On its own.
guardianship. But they're wanting to
Yeah.
hold it off and make us think that we can't do that. Well, he's an adult.
Well,
He's a
no,
big
he
difference.
is an adult, and you can argue that point. He's an adult,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're allowed to do that. So,
They're still trying
well,
to run it
I think I should get in my
child.
rules, get them out of the way. We don't have any questions yet, but one of my most important first rule is you need to have an attorney. You probably say, I can't afford an attorney. I got a public defender. He's my attorney, or I could do it myself. Well, sad to say, I tried to do it myself, got nowhere for a year and a half, and lost my daughter. So I don't want you not to think about not getting an attorney. And it's the same thing if you're going to have heart surgery, you need something wrong with your heart, let's say, and you need to replace a valve or put a stent in. Well, what I'm saying is that you're going to get a professional doctor to do that. You're not yourself going to open your chest. You're
Right.
not going to have a layman. You're not going to have an auto mechanic open your chest. You're going to get a professional doctor. Well, the same thing goes for CPS. CPS is that bad, that hard. You need someone who knows how to navigate, who knows the laws, who's fought CPS. Why am I
And who
saying
won't
leave?
back down.
Yeah. Am I still in the studio? It said leave the studio. I don't know. Anyway.
No, you are. We're still in
Okay,
here.
good. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So that's why I recommend you get a professional family law attorney. And CPS is the same story. If you know the story of Alice in Wonderland, you are Alice, you fall in the rabbit hole, which is CPS, and you're going to end up going through doors that go nowhere. You're going to talk to people that go nowhere. If you remember the story of Alice in Wonderland, she went nowhere. And they were one time say off with her head. And I can pick as a social worker say off with your head because they're that rude. They're that bad. I mean, I still have this mental picture, and I keep bringing it up, about the 8 social workers in Arizona that wore pink shirts at work that said they're
Horrible.
professional kidnappers. And on the back, it said, do you know where your children are? It's like they're
And
saying, hey, if you don't know where your children are, I'm going to kidnap them. And that was wrong. They were fired.
it's very
It happened
wrong.
a couple of years ago. But that is the mentality of social workers. That's not funny. It's not funny at
No.
all.
These are kids'
And
lives.
so,
These are our future.
yeah. So
You're
I
a
really
family.
emphasize you need to get an attorney. And the way I look for attorney now, if I had to do it all over again, is I put down at the beginning of it the word find, FIND, then put the 2 cities, the city where you reside in, and the next closest big city. So for instance, let's say you reside in Huntington Beach, the next biggest city is Long Beach, then you put Long Beach. So you say fine, Huntington Beach and Long Beach, pro bono. The reason why I bring up pro bono, because all of you are worried about money, because they're going to list attorneys that are low fees. So anyway, a pro bono family law attorney.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you'll get a whole list of them. I did that today, and I got a list more than 10. So what you have to do is go through and pick 10, call the
There we go.
10 to find out if they're in business. If they
Hello.
right away ask for money, you want to drop them out, and whether they've ever fought CPS or have attorneys that can fight CPS. Once you determine 10 candidates, then you're going to have a consultation with 5 of them to determine which one you're going to pick. And that attorney that we have right now, Vincent W. Davis, is one of those 5 you should talk to.
Mm-hmm.
He has a consultation. He charges for 30 minutes, $60. Very reasonable. I had a gentleman, I think it was Gil, 2 days ago, that said he's going to contact Mr. Davis and get that advice. He thought that the fee was okay. Because Mr. Davis is a trial attorney. He's been doing it for over 35 years. He's fought CPS.
You can learn
He
a
has
lot
got
in 30 minutes.
and
I
he
saw-
has a lot of podcasts. You can listen to him. And for 30 minutes, that's $2 a minute. And he will tell you the strategies of how to fight CPS and get your kids. Bingo. We got somebody that came in there.
Yep.
A real
It's a
genius, Natalie. I think I've heard her before.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, they've been in here before.
Yeah, I need contact my kids, please. Okay. We need to know, I forgot what city and state you are, Natalie. And
Hi, how are you?
and it's really nice to have you in. I think you've been on for, and so I'm here to help you. You just need to give us more information. So anyway, with this attorney, you want to call in to 888-888-6582. Tell them that
Nice.
Bob Pace sent you when you talk to the office. And when you talk to Mr. Davis, say that Bob Pace sent you. It's really important that he hears that. And that's one of the 5 attorneys. So I got you a good attorney. Now, he'll work in Southern California. He's from Southern California. He'll work in Southern California, Northern California, and all the states. He was in Oklahoma 2 weeks ago. And he has a retainer. You need to talk to him about that. But first, talk to him how he can help you and whether the chemistry is right. It's very important to have good chemistry with
Right.
Natalie, what city and state are you from? I've forgotten. I think you've been on before. And you want to know, I need to contact my kids. Well, I have to know the CPS that you're talking about and tell you how you can do that. So anyway, going back to my rule number 1, get that attorney. Also, the calendar that you can book with them is running as a ticket below the bottom of the screen. You put that whole thing in, and it'll get you right there, and you can make an appointment with them. Okay.
California, Los Angeles.
Okay, she's Los Angeles. Okay, now it's the Los Angeles Child Protection Agency that you want to contact. And I don't know where your children are, but they will tell you where your children are at. You need to contact them.
How long ago has your case been going on? When did they take the kids?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and answer your questions or go.
Well, I was just saying, when did they take the kids? Did they provide them with any information where the kids were going? And how long ago was this? They said DCFS in Los Angeles took the kids.
Wow, I thought it was called CPS. Maybe it is Department of Children. Department
Family
of Children. Family Services. Okay. Same thing. You just contact the LA DCF. I mean, let me see if I can get you a phone number here.
Did they give you them? Okay, most recently, the court decision. Oh, here's to the Truth Movement. Most recently, the court declared in Washington that the Constitution and specifically the Due Process Clause of the 4th Amendment right protects and that is so yes, protects the fundamental right of the parents to direct the care. And yes, that is yes. And that was Washington versus Gluck. And that's what they violate the 4th and the 4th Amendment rights. Bad.
Okay, the phone number
Many
you
years.
want for Los Angeles.
6 years.
It's 800-540-4000. They open at 8 a.m. on Monday.
So
Department of Children and
they
Family Services.
2013 they took the kids, Bob.
Okay.
And you have not seen them at all in the last 10. Wow. How old
I
are
would
they?
start
May I
there.
ask?
I would
Yeah.
start there.
And you haven't been to court or anything about, because that's been a long time. That's over 10. That's 11 years. Something.
Wow.
Did they put like a
7 and 4
protective
is
order
11 years.
against you or anyone? Yeah.
Well,
your
what
kids need
you
to see
would
their
do
brother,
is you'd
yes.
call the county, give them the name, and ask them where your children are at.
And
Now we have the
ask,
truth movement, the right of parents to direct the care, upbringing, education of children. That is a constitutional right. You're so right, the truth movement. You're so right. What else he said? Well, recently this court declared in Washington, here's a case, due process clause, the 14th Amendment protects the fundamentals. So yeah, look at the 14th Amendment. But Natalie, I gave you the phone number. So
even with siblings, they're supposed
you have it. Do you think she has? I gave the phone number, so she should have it.
Do you still need did you get the number so you can contact them in the morning, Natalia? Because they do have, they're supposed to keep siblings 14, 7, and 13. Her children are. So, and they do you have any of them in your custody, in your care right now? You did everything for court. And is it just one kid that they've kept away, or all three of them? Have you seen any of them? You appealed to? Wow. And what was the finding of that? So is it all your kids that were still taken away, or is it just like maybe the youngest one or just one? Because I know that's a lot with CPS. They tend to keep siblings apart. I do know that. My son hadn't seen his siblings in over a year. And they are supposed to, I mean, I've even read that in their book. What? Repeat. Your children, do you have any with you in your care right now? Or do they still have all three of them? And after you appealed it, what was the findings? Like, what was the last thing they said to you? Like, was it a reunification case? Because for 11 years, that's, I know the process usually is 18 months if they're in foster care, and they go for usually TPR sometimes. Judge Blackshaw separates my kids.
At least you know the judge.
Get in contact with that judge and get all the court orders. I would definitely, to find out what
Well, you have to go to the clerk's office. You have to go to the court clerk and ask for a copy of all your records.
But she said she's even appealed it too, and they still. Your uncle has your son. Do you have any of the kids in your care, your custody? Any of them? Because her uncle has one of the kids. So you haven't got to see the son that's in your uncle's care. Where's the other two kids? She violated 309. The caseworker defects. Did they find that in the appeal courts that they violated those sections? Her two girls are okay in a stranger's home. They say so. Her two girls are in a foster home, and the son is with the uncle, and you don't get to see none of them. I would see what happened with your rights first, and I would get in contact with the department in the first thing in the morning and find out what's up. Like why? If they said you can see your kids, why are you not being allowed to all of a sudden?
Let me tell you about the background of Judge Blackshaw. He's a judge in Los Angeles County Superior Court. She was appointed to the bench in 2013 by Governor Jerry Brown. She filled a vacancy created by the retirement of Joan Comperte Castorente, who retired. She is a registered Democrat. She received her BA from Stanford. She wanted to earn her JD from the University of Hastings College. I guess GD is her judicial thing. Blackshaw became her legal career practicing as an associate for the law firms of Sell and Connor. So she has been a lawyer for a long time. That was good. She served a brief stint as a legislative assistant for former U.S. Representative from California, Congress Leon Pamela. So she's done some work there.
And she said she also deals with Oregon because the uncle that has the sons in Oregon. And I guess they stopped the reunification services. You can apply for a pro bono court appointment. Well, how can an attorney get record? Your attorney can ask for all the court documents, and all they have to do is contact the clerk of courts for that county for the court record. Contact the clerk of court for that county that it was done in, and the judge is what Bob was just talking about. Yes. Whatever court it was, juvenile, probate, civil, superior. I don't know how California and even Oregon, I would contact whatever county that your uncle's in. Exactly. You are correct. They can't separate them, but they are supposed to keep in contact.
Well, she doesn't sound like she's a good judge. She's only got 1 star here. She denied my request for a subpoena and told my attorney that the discovery is not necessary. Heard she had bad time with her own divorce with twin boys. She sees my case as hers. She is biased towards the county appointed minor counsel, and I expect her to be predisposed to rule against me. Was told she doesn't want to listen to history of family conflict and just rules. Goes off record a lot during the hearings. What is she afraid of? Why shouldn't the entire proceedings be official and recorded on the record? Another comment said she did not request for a subpoena to my attorney that discovery is not necessary. Oh, that's the same thing. Denies parents' due process. Does things off the record that should be on. Does not know her cases. A bully. Apparently lacks ability to make individual determinations. Thoughtfulness of litigants. Acts sometimes more like a party's attorney than a judge. Wow.
And she's also based on her experience with.
Yeah, we heard from our DF caseworker that she's unnecessarily hard on dad. So we found this to be true, even though the court-appointed attorneys told us she rules according to her whims and moods. Particularly moody and unprofessional. She never let my son speak while she was ruling that his ex-laws get to indoctrinate his son into the religious belief. Shouldn't she uphold the separation of church and state? She ignored reports from the children's therapist that he should only stay in one home in order that a 3-year-old bounce around 3 households all through the week. She ignored my plea for stability for the child. She reprimanded my son in front of his little boy because my son was quietly trying to pull this little one at ease in a scary court setting. She is a monster.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if this judge will help you. She's lazy, appears to never read the motions put before her. She seems terrified of the idea of a case going to trial. She signed off on an incomplete and flawed final judgment order, did not hold the other party to compelling court order testifying or counseling. Especially odd when the other party posed a risk to the community at large. When the opposing attorney placed protected documents in open court in violation of the law, her response was to do nothing. She is at times moody and unprofessional, seems to lack empathy nor appreciation for the consequences of handling her case in a callous manner. So it doesn't sound like that judge is a very good judge.
No. Wow. And she's also going by that judge is having a hard grudge against anything involving that because of what she experienced with her divorce. It seems like that's crazy, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that at all.
I see the comment from Rob Weber. I don't know where he's from. He says, so if CPS and judges can order drug tests, then we should be able to question COs and judges with polygraphs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not going to win anything with judges or social workers. It's corrupt. The whole system's corrupt. And I feel like right now, unless they change some things, we're kind of wasting time. But with a real attorney, you can fight and win it. It's only a real attorney that's going to help you. Your court-appointed attorney is, I'm sorry, it's just a waste of time. It really is.
And everything is voluntary with these people. Like they cannot, if it's not court ordered, they can't make you do nothing.
Right, that's true. They cannot make you take a drug test. You could do it on your own and have your own tests, your own results, and that can prove there too. So you don't have to. And so
you're not in trouble for anything. It's just that you may have had a struggle in life, and so just know that you're not on probation. If it's not, you're not being charged with anything. So don't let them treat you that way. Everything is voluntary.
Right.
It's not criminal, civil. So, and
that's one of the rules. Rule number 3 is you don't have to let them in your house. You don't have to speak to social workers. You don't have to.
Right.
That is something
you have your Fourth Amendment. You have your rights.
Yeah.
You don't have to let them search and no.
Well, I better get rid of my other 2 rules. I have rule number 2, which is the paperwork one, and we need to make sure that you go out and get a 3-inch notebook, fill it full of paper, like 500 sheets, get dividers, put tabs in there. Your first one, the most important one, is going to be your incidents, and there where you write the date and the time and the people involved in the incident on the first line. The second 2 lines, or how many lines it takes, you write the description of the incident, what was taking place, and then you want to write the outcome of the incident. If you don't have it, save for later to fill in because it may take you some time to get it done. But you want to repeat that for each incident so you have the whole section of that first tab. The second tab should be a list of all your programs, your parenting classes, your programs you've been doing, and also your drug tests you're doing, any counseling you're doing, all those things you're doing. You should have the second tab and have a date and time what it was. And again, that's written down there. And then your third tab is a list of all the things you find when you're trying to be more knowledgeable about CPS. Your web links, your links to different things and stuff, phone numbers and everything. That's your tab number 3. And then your other tabs, you make them whatever is best for you on that. But that notebook is really important. It's something you need to refer to. I didn't do one. I should have. Now, rule number 3 is you say no to social workers, no to police. You don't have to talk to them. It's not required. In fact, they tell you not to say anything because the stuff you say will be held against you. It's real simple. It's no, yes answers. No, yes answers. Those are the only 2 words you speak. And if it becomes really uncomfortable, then they say, hey, look, I need to speak to my attorney. Can you give me your business card? And you'll get back to them. That's being polite. That's telling you have an attorney. They don't know that. Now they might be concerned. But anyway, you get their business card because they lie about their name and stuff. So you need to do that. So make sure you say no to social workers. Now, the
If they
truth
come to your
amendment,
house, you want to see the warrant.
yeah, if they have a warrant or a court order. I can tell you this: if you stand up to them and just insist that you have a fundamental right to parent and that you do not have to help them investigate you, you will not lose. You're right. You're right. More knowledge. Stay your ground. Be professional. Be nice.
Knowledge is
Anytime you
power.
want to take a time out with your social workers, tell them you need to speak to your attorney.
Yep.
That's an easy way to end the conversation to get some more additional time. That really is. Wow. So don't talk to social workers. Do not talk to police. It's the same thing, a yes, no answer type thing. Try to deal with them outside your home. Don't bring them in your home. Don't give them permission in your home. They need to have a court order or a warrant, and that warrant has got to be very specific. It's got to be filled out correctly, signed by a judge with a wet signature, and that's really important there too. Now, if they want to enter your home, you could say no. You can meet them outside, and you can say you need to talk to your attorney, because when they come into your home, not only do they look around, they'll go through your underwear drawer. I don't know what they get the fascination going through somebody's personal drawers, but anyway, they're going to use it against you. Use me against you. So you don't want to let them in if you can't. So that's important there too. So also with medical trafficking, that's where you take a child to the hospital because there's something wrong with them, and then you may disagree with the doctor and you want to go to another hospital or another kind of treatment. You have the right to do so, but social workers will get involved and take your child away from you, thinking that you're not going to take care of the child, which is far from it. They're at the hospitals now, social workers, case workers, where you want to call them. They are there hungry to kidnap or to traffic your children. They want to traffic your children. They want to alienate your children. Both of that is illegal. Both of them is very illegal there.
Oh, yeah. It's like they just shop around for, like, trouble, just to cause trouble.
Yeah.
Like the hamburger at McDonald's, like.
So I've covered the 3 rules, and these are supposed to help you. I've repeated myself for every show, but hire an attorney, keep good notes, and say no to social workers and the police, and don't let them take your child.
Right.
Don't let them take your child. I mean,
don't
there
let
has
them
to be a crime going on place. If you're sitting there banging your child against the wall because they won't shut up, they're going to come in the home. If you got a knife on the child or a gun on the child, or if the child is in harm's way, they have the right to come in. Again, I say this because I won.
The truth movement, how long did it go on for?
Time to win. Yeah. And I just did have an attorney insisted on him challenging the court.
The fundamental right that you have a right to.
I won. And I did not and didn't nothing for them. You're right. Did nothing.
So you
congratulations, Truth Movement. But your key to success, besides your knowledge, was an attorney.
They pushed back and they didn't give up. They tried to make
Natalie. Hospital, big traffic. Oh, I agree. That's where they pick up your child. A mother has a baby. She's tested positive for drugs. In rushes the social worker with the police to take the child who's a newborn child. That's illegal. That's wrong. They have to have a warrant in the first place. You tell those people to wait in the lobby. The mother has a right to have her child in that room, and they're not invited there. So that is bad. They do have medical trafficking because now the social workers, the CPS workers are hanging out in the hospital looking to take and kidnap your child. Why, you guys? Because they want that $55 billion, $55 billion. And if they get $20,000 per child, they're going to be excited. You get 100 people taken in from that place. That's a lot of money.
Yep. And it's crazy.
What's 100? What's 100 times 20,000? What does that work out to be? Let's see here. Count the zeros. 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Mhm.
zeros.
It's 8 total.
6
Ain't it?
zeros. 8 zeros?
You said 8, like 100 times 100,000.
No, 100 times 20,000.
So that's when. So it's 4. That's 6 zeros.
That's $6 million, right?
Yeah.
See, in 1 month with 100 people, they get $6 million. Think about that. 12 months, think about that. It's all about money. I'm so sad it is. We're getting close to the end of our podcast. We have about 5 minutes. And I want to know if anybody else has any other questions. Yes, they are traffickers. They do trafficking. Yes,
They
they are
they they
trafficking.
like going after special needs people.
I
need to
mean, when I
sue.
saw those saw those 8 social workers with pink t-shirts that said very proudly on their chest, we're professional kidnappers. That sounds like somebody likes to traffic children. On the back, where your children, like they're trying to say to you, ha ha ha, we got your child.
Oh,
And
like the
that is
French
terrible.
person. Wow.
That is so true. Natalie, did we answer her question? We're getting close to the end of the time. Did we answer your question? Yeah, $20,000 per child, Natalie.
Yeah, because my son, I know they get and they get for if they bring out-of-state kids into your home state to get treatment, they'll send your home state kids. Like my son is from Georgia, and they sent him to Texas because they'll get more money for out-of-state kids to provide them services if they're especially mentally challenged, disabled, if they're special needs. So there's more money with that, and that's crazy. It's not fair.
I hear you.
These kids should not have to go through that.
I agree. Well, I want to thank Natalie and the Truth Movement. We also had some other people here. We had Ron Weber. I don't know where he's from, but he came into a room. And then we've had Natalie, and that was really, she did a lot of talking there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you, all you people that participated in the comments. I'm glad to see somebody return, like the Truth Movement. He's actually talked on my show, so
That's awesome.
It's really good. I
like
want you to
being
don't
involved.
forget
That's
to
awesome.
fight your kids. Fight for your kids. You got to. Be pleasant and nice. Don't say anything to social workers. They're not your friend. They are not your friend. And please, if you have more questions or concerns, you want to learn more, call in tomorrow. My podcast starts at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And that's Pacific Standard Time. And I love to hear from you. If not, it'll be on again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Monday night. So there I am. And with that saying, thank you, Danielle. And so this is Bob and Danielle saying good night and God bless you all. See you tomorrow morning.